Hello all, welcome to study 100 of the Solving Studies to Improve Chess Calculation series. Yes, this is the series finale, the last one. Hope you have enjoyed the series. I don't know if there is going to be another one. Hope this one is already good for everyone that is trying to improve calculation. And of course, this last video, I needed to also thank the ones that have helped me, besides everyone that is following the channel. I want to a special thanks to the ones that helped me to develop my first published study. So, of course, Franz Pachl as the editor of the column on the Schach magazine, the Deutsche magazine for chess, and also the other grandmaster in chess compositions. They both are grandmasters in chess composition. Also, Martin Minsky. I brought here two compositions, one endgame study, that's the main one, from Martin Minsky, and another German composer, Gunter Sonntag. Well, Martin has produced a lot of endgame studies. There are a lot beautiful ones, but I needed to choose one for the season finale, and I think this one is very enjoyable. And so even if it's in a collaboration, also I think it should be mentioned that Martin Minsky is very helpful for many composers. He has a lot of endgame studies in joint composition with other composers, so that's also a brand from him. So it's an open person, very helpful, and we all need to thank him. And of course, the other one, the extra one, is going from Franz Pachl, but he makes also a lot of compositions, not in game studies, but he is very fun of the fairy chess with many special pieces. Well, at first I was wondering, okay, I will bring one of that, but it's a bit complicated because I would need to choose the rules and so on. So I went a bit back to the two movers, the checkmate in two moves that is started more or less the compositions by there. Even if nowadays he can do that with chess fairy pieces, so he's absolutely a genius on chess composition. But I wanted to make it at least a bit shorter for us, a bit fun, and so we are going to start with that. We are going to start with 2 minutes to solve the Pachel two movers, so we need to check in two moves, and then I move on to the to the end game study from Martin Minsky in collaboration with Gunter Stanstad. So, without further ado, let's go here for the position to solve. So, this is white mate in two. I will start the countdown and then I will come back with the solution before going to the end game study. Have fun. And here we are. Okay, this is going to be thought in a different way. Of course, we need to find the right solution in this problem, and of course, we can try to move the knight to b6, but then the king just hides away in c5, and we don't have any mate now, so we miss the mate in two. The other option is to go with the knight to f6, also doesn't work. What is interesting is the king goes after the knight. So if the when the knight went to one side, the king went there, and when the knight went to the other side, the king also searched the knight. So this is also a bit fun. And the other option we can try is to go to e3, but again, the king just goes to d3, and there is no checkmate anywhere, so we fail the mating two problem. And the good solution is going with the same knight but to c3. So if you have found it, congratulations. So the threat is mate in the next move. So things like promoting to a queen, not enough. It's going to be checkmate, whatever the king chooses. And if the king goes, for example, to c5, well, this is probably a bit harder, but also checkmate in two, with the queen going to a7, checkmate. If the king now goes to the other side, same thing goes, with the queen going to h8, checkmate. And so it's really fun, and the right correct move was knight d c3. Hope you have solved it, and now it's time to change to the other one. Let me change here the screen so we can get the position from the joint composition of Martin Minsky and Gunter Sonntag. Here it is. And it's white to play, white to win. As always, I suggest you watch the guide if you haven't, so you are better prepared for the practice. And the countdown will start. This time it will be a 10-minute countdown, not just 2 minutes like we had for the problem of Pachl. And after the countdown, I will come back with the solution. And here we are, and as always, let's start with the first right good move, which is bringing the bishop to b8, locking the rook, and now the fun will start. This is going to be really fun. This is very clever. I really enjoy this one. And so here the idea when we analyze the position, okay, we have more or less similar material, although the queen and rook overcomes the material from white. Well, we have also some threats. This move, I think, is also obvious. And so it's very direct. We simply lock the rook. We are already knowing that black will try, we will need to sacrifice. So basically, more or less, we are balanced in the end. And now it's black to play. Of course, now black needs to find a very clever solution. So here, for example, there is the option of the king moving to g6, but this doesn't help anything because we simply promote to the queen. And so promoting to the queen is the biggest challenge for black. But I want you to start to notice one thing. Here is the promotion to a queen. And we are going to see how clever this one is on every promotion. And now, so over here, the king moving just allows white to promote. So the idea is using the black queen as the best defense to avoid the promotion. How we do that? Well, we simply move the queen to d8, checking our king, of course. This is going to be really obvious. And now we need to move the king away, and the best one is to go to h5. And here we are threatening now to bring our rook to e8, and on the following move, promote to a queen again. So it's black to play. Black needs to do something about it and sacrifice the rook. And now, of course, we are not going to promote now. We first take the rook, but promoting to a bishop. And you are going to wonder why. Why are we promoting to a bishop? Well, let's say we promote to a queen. What happens if we promote to a queen, for example? Can you guess? Yes, this is not going to be that obvious, but we have a simple sacrifice from the queen. And when the king takes back, suddenly we notice, oh, black can't move the king, is not check, so it's checkmate. And so, as you can see, if we promoted, for example, for a rook, then we get the same idea. And the king takes, and then, wow, I can't win this one. It's stalemate again. You see the fun already? Can we promote to a knight? You wonder. Well, you can, but you are not going to win. Let's say, for example, one simple way is to go with the queen to f6. So we are already controlling the pawn, but not only that, we are threatening to take another knight and so on. So there's not enough material already on the position for white to avoid the draw. So very fun. So we already are seeing some very clever moves now. So here black is forced to accept and take the bishop. And now it's white to play. Of course, the move is going to be obvious. We bring the rook to e8, but now black plays another smart move. And notice how fun this is going to be. Of course, the main move is to check the king on h2, but before that, let's see what happens if I take the rook. Now, what is the right move? Because if we are not paying attention and promote to a queen, well, suddenly, again, it's a stalemate. And as you can see over here, we also can't promote to a rook, stalemate again, and we can't promote to a knight because there's not enough material to mate. So suddenly we are promoting again to a bishop, another brilliant promotion. And as you can see already, the fun ain't over and it won't be over. So if you wanted a better Caesar finale, here it is. There isn't. And of course, there is the option, of course, for the queen to stay in the same rank. So expecting, for example, the rook to accept the sacrifice. And okay, what can we do now? It's a draw. But white has better ways, and the better way is to promote, of course, not to a queen, of course, not to a rook, and of course, not to a bishop, but into a knight. So we got the promotion for the queen in the first one, then we got two promotions for a bishop, a promotion for a knight checking. The king is, of course, forced to move, and then we simply take the queen. There is no stalemate anywhere, so the king has free space to move, and it's not a draw for black. So over here, the best for black is to try to check our king. Now the king doesn't have any interest in moving, so we simply protect with the knight, and notice that we are covering all the squares from where the queen could check our king. But this is not over, and the queen goes to d6. What is the idea? Well, if I promote to the queen, well, we already know what's going to happen. Check, the knight takes, and it's stalemate again, draw. And if I promote, for example, to a bishop, what happens over here? Well, this is not that fun, of course, but we are going to be able to check the king, and at least black will going to draw this one, at least. Uh, what happens if we promote to a knight checking the king? Well, this is interesting. It looks like we are going to at least not have the stalemate draw, but what now? What can we do now? There are no good progression for white anymore, and the queen is free to keep the draw over here. The rook and two knights are not able to beat the queen on this endgame. So here we need to promote. Which piece are we forgetting? Yes, that one. We need to promote to a rook. This is a brilliant finish for the study. So whatever the queen moves, let's say for example goes over here, we simply remove the king. And now two rooks and a knight are going to be able to beat this one. I really hope you have enjoyed all these promotions: queen, two bishops, promotion to a knight, and a promotion to a rook. Can you find a better one to finish the series? I don't think so. Hope you have enjoyed. Comment if you want more. Let me know about how this was going for you, and I see you back in future other videos on the channel. Bye bye.